Greenwich Village was a special place. It was full of artists and dreamers. They lived in old buildings with big windows. Our story takes place in one such building. It was a place where life unfolded. Two young artists, Sue and Johnsy, shared a small apartment. They had big dreams. Their apartment was their sanctuary. The world outside could be tough, but inside there was warmth and friendship. Autumn arrived in Greenwich Village. The leaves changed colour. A cold wind blew through the streets. It was a time for change, but it was also a time for illness. Johnsy became very sick. She lay in her bed, staring out the window. Hope seemed to fade with the falling leaves. Sue and Johnsy were more than roommates. They were best friends. They understood each other's dreams. They shared their hopes and fears. Sue was a kind and caring friend. She looked after Johnsy with love. She tried to keep her spirits up. She knew Johnsy needed her now more than ever. Then there was Berman. He was an old artist. He lived downstairs. He was grumpy but had a good heart. Berman dreamed of painting a masterpiece, but he hadn't started it yet. He was like a dried-up vine. He needed something to believe in. Johnsy's illness worsened. She lay in bed, weak and hopeless. She watched the leaves fall from the ivy vine outside her window. One by one, they drifted down. Johnsy became fixated on the last leaf. She believed that when it fell, she too would die. It was a morbid connection, but in her fragile state, it was her reality. Sue was worried. She tried to cheer Johnsy up, but nothing seemed to work. She told Johnsy to stop thinking about the leaf. She reminded her of her dreams. She reminded her of her will to live. But Johnsy was consumed by the last leaf. Sue confided in Berman. She told him about Johnsy's delusion. She told him about the last leaf. Berman's heart went out to Johnsy. He understood the despair of a fading dream. He grumbled about foolish things, but deep down he cared. That night a fierce storm raged. Rain lashed against the windows. Wind howled through the streets. It was a night of fear and uncertainty. The last leaf clung desperately to the vine. Johnsy watched it, her heart pounding. Morning came and the storm subsided. Johnsy was weak but alive. She looked out the window. The last leaf was still there. It had survived the storm. Johnsy couldn't believe her eyes. A sliver of hope entered her heart. She would survive too. Days turned into weeks. Johnsy slowly recovered. The last leaf remained. It was a symbol of hope. It was a reminder that life can surprise you. What Johnsy didn't know was that the last leaf wasn't real. Berman had painted it there during the storm. He sacrificed himself to save her. He caught pneumonia and died. The last leaf was Berman's masterpiece. It was a testament to his kindness. It was a beacon of hope in a time of despair. It taught us that even the smallest act of kindness can have a profound impact. It reminded us that we are all connected, and sometimes the greatest sacrifices go unnoticed.